On tomorrow's 48 Hours in Los Angeles, David Pearce is awaiting sentencing after he was found guilty last month of drugging 2 women and watching them die and sexually assaulting 7 others. This is a chilling crime, and they really uncovered after the 2 young women were dumped at a separate hospital emergency rooms. 48 Hours correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti joining us now. You've been reporting on this disturbing story for more than 3 years. Tell us about the testimony, my friend, of the women who came forward in this trial.
Yeah, Reed, first, it's great to be with you. Jackie, who is Jane Doe number 2, playing a critical role here, an incredible woman, not just because she was a survivor, she calls herself a fighter, and she truly fought for her life to escape that apartment that night. She went there looking for a room to rent. She was offered a drink, not knowing that there was GHB, the date rape drug, and shot inside of it. She woke up a few hours later while she was being assaulted. She managed to flee. She was so drugged, though, she could not walk. She had to crawl down the sidewalk in the middle of the night to get to her car. She locked herself inside and waited for hours until she was sober enough to safely get back home. What's remarkable, her story so similar to the 6 other Jane Does that were brave enough to come forward and testify. And collectively, they describe a pattern of abuse by David Pearce. Christy and Hilda, they were not able to escape. But thanks to that testimony, collectively, their killer, David Pearce, was ultimately brought to justice, Reed.
Well, it's Friday. A lot of people will be going out to bars and out to celebrate nightlife culture once again this weekend. And I have a daughter. I worry all the time about things like this. So that's why this story, it adds another layer of importance to this story. But, you know, we know that this GHB problem is a huge problem in our country. Do investigators think there are other victims, Jonathan?
Yeah, in this case specifically, they do believe there are other victims. How many, we may never know. Detective Yu, whose job it was to track down the victims, said he spoke with more than 100 women. Only a fraction of them felt safe enough and secure enough to come forward and testify. But he says he could sleep easier at night knowing that this predator, as he called David Pearce, is off the streets. And truly a predator he was, because before he was arrested, while he was still a suspect, he was actually seeking to flee the country, looking up apartments to rent in Ukraine. And Reed, he was also on dating websites in Ukraine looking for more women.
Jonathan Vigliotti, one of my favorite reporters in the country because you give a damn about the people you talk about. And just for our viewers, follow Jonathan on social media because his reporting on the LA wildfires is epic, and all of the findings regarding LA Mayor Karen Bass recently, so fascinating. Also, Jonathan's book on climate change, such important studies. Really, you are one of our greatest reporters of all time. 48 Hours for this story tomorrow night at 10 on KPIX. You can also stream it on Paramount+. Good to see you, my friend.